Okay, so here we are. I just create a very simple pagination component, and yeah, I've decided to write this upfront because yeah, it's fairly simple, and the real fun is with the fact that this is gonna be the first real component with state that we are going to write. Now the styling here is very simple. I didn't really, put much effort into this. We basically have a list and some elements, and the selected one is just a different color, and that's it. So these two buttons are going to be first page, last page, and basically the numbers next to the selected one is basically next page and yeah, actually maybe I just to make it simpler because I don't want to spend too much time on this. I won't even look for the correct, yeah, wrong side. For the correct, let's do it like this. And then we don't even need that, right? Yeah. So basically we have next page, previous page, next page, first page, last page, current page. So yeah, something like this. Maybe we could, to make it a little bit more user friendly, we could do something like this to kind of display it having, yeah, why not? This, I kind of like this one. Um, and the reason why I'm doing this is not a really functional pagination, and the reason why I'm doing it like this is because I want to focus on the actual, um, you know, the actual logic behind the component, and after that is done, I'm most probably going to revisit this anyway, and just like I will discard because it's really ugly, and I want it to look a little bit better. So yeah, I might do it offline, I might do it online, doesn't matter. So what the idea is, basically, the idea is that uh, our component is going to have the internal state of current page and all pages count. Um, yeah, and it's going to be sending events, basically. Page changed, I think, is the only message is going to be sending. Now here's the thing. I the reason I dropped Fable was that I kind of didn't like the fact that it forced, maybe not forced, but it kind of expected me to expose my internal state of the component app, right? And I think it's really the same here. Um, at least I don't have to expose the model, but I do have to expose the how is it called? The message, right? Because I think we are going to use the same, because we have to communicate somehow between the components, and I think we are just going to use dispatch. And yeah, so I think the component that's using our component needs to be aware of our message type. And I don't mean like exposing model messages as in exposing the state, because I don't care about exposing the state. I just don't want to expose, I don't want to put noise into the interface. So like for me, the model should be private. It shouldn't leak out unless it's supposed to. Yeah, like I'm that's one thing I don't like about Sharp. I'm a big believer in explicit public and making everything private. Just like this time that I forgot to set to private. right? No other component needs to know about our style, and that's just, it's easier to write code that way. You have the auto suggestion, and it's much easier to navigate your way around foreign code bases. Um, yeah, so we're gonna start. I'm actually gonna go to the studio.dev, and here was the example with the counter, and that's basically what I'm gonna use as a reference. Where was it? Here, and that was this one. Okay. Okay, so we have message, we have init, it returns the initial model, and then we have model dispatch. Oh, okay, so we have a different dispatch. Okay, so that's cool. So we have a different dispatch, and then, uh, hmm, I wonder how to do it, because I would guess I would put it here into the view, right? That's what the parent component is going to use. So like pass another dispatch here. Um, is it actually documented anywhere? Because I have some idea how to do, the communication between components, but I'm just not sure. Um, List components. Cool. And that's not what I want. Events, DOM events, custom events. These are just like examples. And kind of want to. Okay, this is a useful page, but okay, let's go here. Maybe here there is some component, but I want to keep that open too. Okay. Message. You know what? Maybe maybe I will just ignore it. I will just do it my way. And yeah, basically what I would do is I would take in the dispatch from the parent component and basically have a type with public messages. Um, and um, and then in the update of our component, of our pagination component, I would handle the private message, which would be like the click, and dispatch the public event, which is like the page changed. Um, yeah, that's how I would do it. No, maybe like I'm thinking about these stores. Maybe there is some better way to do it. Just observables or something like this. And just passing the store. How does it work? Um, let's say I do something like this, right? Let store.make false, and then store map. Okay, so maybe this is how you communicate, right? You pass in a store, and then I can, right? Instead of getting this, I get current page uh, that I pass to the update. Is there any information about that here? Store make count. We pipe the store into store write. And on handle click, ink, yeah, store modify, count ink. Isn't there any documentation about the stores? Oh, there is. Oh, great. Okay. I'm thinking like mm, if I like the idea of the stars, because basically how it then works is I have the parent component, I create a store there, I subscribe to it, and I pass it to the child component. Basically, yeah, the handling of events is completely up to me, right? Uh, yeah, actually, it's the only way that makes sense from like type standpoint. So, um, how to call it? So this is going to be store, and let's just call it current page store. Um, that's that. Actually, instead of doing this for now, maybe just do it like this, and let's maybe worry about uh, the the internal state of this component. So we have a type that's going to be the model, and the model is going to have current page of int. And actually, I think I want type page index was page index of int. I think I actually want that. Yeah, kind of liked the keeping everything in modules. Like this has the one issue of not being able to do private types. But I like the external API, like pagination.types.pageindex. That's pagination by page index is also good, I think. Let's just keep it like this, page index. Okay, so that's our model. What do we need more? Where is that example? So we have the model, and then we need the message. This message, and the message is basically page change of page index. That's our message. And then we have the functions. So the functions is init. Why are you doing that? Oh, init, and it returns the model. Don't do that. The hell? Current page equals 1. Okay. I in general like this wrapping of types. It's really, at least I didn't like, didn't develop a feeling for this, but to me it's difficult um, to feel when it makes sense and when it doesn't. Um, in F sharp it's really cheap. You basically just, like this type declaration is very small. In language like C sharp, that's a lot, so I'm more hesitant to do that. But yeah, since we are writing F sharp, I will experiment with using it as much as possible, even for such simple things. I actually could use the unit here, right? 1 page, 2 page. Actually, no, it wouldn't make sense. Yeah, it will make sense. Okay, and then we do, I don't want to call it message, it's too long. Message, update, and update takes message, update takes model, and returns model. So basically, match message with page changed, model with current page equals PI. Yeah, so that's the idea. Now, I don't think like I should manipulate the store directly from the view. I really don't like that. I think it should be manipulated from the update function. Then I will need to pass the store into the update function because that's kind of awkward. Like this might be huge, like passing all of that into update. This is very awkward. It's like asks for storing this in a field, right? Or just writing directly into the stores. But yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to have all the handling here and the view be as clean as possible, and just have the like rich model. Yeah. So we are not going to handle the uh, like hiding the next page and previous page buttons in case we are on the first or last page and stuff like that. So basically the first page. Yeah, we actually will have to handle that in some way because yeah, I think we will handle this in the update. I want to have all of this handled in the update. Where actually should the update care? Well, hmm, because it kind of is the view, right? The view decides that it doesn't block um, the buttons. So the view is aware that that's a possibility. So it could handle that. Now the update should also make sure that whatever the view is passing is correct. And if it's not, it should correct it. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking about the update and the model being separate from the view. Um, Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that's not the point in this architecture, but I cannot help that. Uh, but update, if the update does the validation, then it has to assume the the resolution. Like if max page is 5 and someone sends me a page index of 6, what do I do? Like then I can decide that it's back to 5 or whatever. So if I want to consider the view and the update slash model, like the view model separate, then I think this decision should be actually it should be handled in both places then, right? Because if you wants to make that decision by itself, and the update should guard itself from that. Um, yeah, so how to model that? Because it kind of fits into the page index, right? Because basically the page index should be the one. Uh, the page index is basically the page index, and the rule about the page index is that it can be greater than the number of the pages. So it should actually care about this. It's actually interesting how to handle that because there are so many ways. Because the language is so flexible. I don't know. For now, I will just do it. However, um, okay, so I also need max pages in the model. And that's the question. Do I pass all of this into the yeah, I pass all of this into the view, right? I could create like an object. Yeah, I pass all of this into the view. And then I also handle this in init. Actually, init should be private. And so should update. This doesn't exist outside of this. So yeah, as well as this. Nothing of this actually exists beyond this component. Only the page index exists beyond this component in the view. Like the outside component shouldn't, yeah, it shouldn't be aware of anything else than the view. So let's for now just handle the current page. So basically the current page starts at 1 and we are going to increment it and decrement it. And yeah, this is actually a good question because shouldn't this be a separate message? Because it isn't page change then. It's increment page. Yeah. And then the problem of handling the page index resolves basically isn't page changed, it's increment page, decrement page, or page index. Go to first page, go to last page. Okay. Then I could, in theory, make the page index smarter and I just feel like objects are for these kinds of things. Like smart types have the page index, be aware of the max pages and just validate itself. You know, have a private field max pages when you create it. So it's page index for this page. But then its type doesn't really say anything about that. Yeah. Mm. Hmm. I'm thinking about whether I should actually make the page index smarter. Because it feels like a good practice. Let's say this component gets huge. Just having this side page index feels like the best option. Having a smart type. With the only issue of actually having it will have the state, right? So this is like basically side effects. Yeah, but it's immutable state, then maybe it's okay. How do you even do that in F sharp? I think I will do that. I think I will make page index smart and make page index an object that will have a. Can you even do that? Can you even do like a private field with the uh, all pages? Yeah. And then the page index would have basically two methods, increment, decrement. Or actually, it can have two methods, increment, decrement. Yeah, so basically, the page index would handle all the messages. It would basically be re-implementing the. But this is. Let's assume we have two page indexes, right? Just thinking theoretically, if this component was bigger, we have two things similar to the page index in our case, then we basically have events that could, correspond to each of them, and each of them would handle their own events. Yeah, so it's actually like that. It's like really decomposition to the smallest unit. And having this like page index be completely independent and be completely and you don't really break the separation of state um, and behavior because it kind of is. Well, the only difference is that I enforce the modification of the state through certain means. You cannot modify the state um, externally, right? Because that's the thing I don't really get about uh, like the functional way. Let's say we do the page index and I just do page index and increment it manually. But then we have that validation, right? We have that rule that the page index cannot be greater than the max pages and also cannot be, smaller than one, etc. And let's say I add a function, increment page index, and then you can actually manipulate the state outside of using this function. Mm. But if I just actually you can do that anyway, unless I would make encapsulated. Okay, let's just do it the simplest way because it's turning into how to over-engineer. Yeah, I think I will even remove that type. How to over-engineer a counter application. This is basically a counter. And then I will think about this because I like these ideas of having these smart types like smart integer with some additional things. That's one of the reasons I like Sharp because it's so easy to do that. In that the syntax is very concise. Okay, so basically I have to validate it. So now I have to have the page count here. Um, how is that? What hour do you use? Oh yeah, this hour. Then model with actually it's the new line. Model with and like page count. Page count is immutable. Basically, like it's a constant. When you init the, can you say that in F sharp? Can you say that something is a constant? Like, can you create a constant type, like page count type that's unchangeable once you make it? It stays. Well, yeah, everything is immutable. What I really mean is that the field here would be, yeah, you cannot because you basically always create a new module. So that's something you cannot map. You cannot model unless I'm wrong. Okay, whatever. Let's just um, do that. Nope. Let's do okay, page count plus one. What? Ah, not page count. How do I actually? How is it done here? Yeah, and here with current page equals model.page plus one. Oh, minus one. Go to first page. Model with current page equals one. And go to last model with current page equals model.page count. Okay, so that's our update function. Okay, so what is the next thing we need to do? Now we need to hook up these buttons, and then we will hook up this display to actually use the actual model state. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's just do this. I like to have this on the right side. So we bind counter equals model.counter. No, I don't care about that. Here, on click find dispatch decrement. Okay, so I just did this HTML text, and then I do, let's just on click function dispatch. Oh yeah, I first need the dispatch. I don't have that yet. Let model dispatch equals store.make elmish simple init update ignore. Now I don't know what's the difference. Huh? Int model. Oh yeah. Also I still need that. I still need the unit here, right? So I can do this. Let view, and view gets now it needs the page count, and then I do basically need page count. This, and then I do find this patch go to first page. No. What? Here? Oh, and then I do this. That's weird. Why do I have to do that? What am I thinking about? Oh yeah, I'm thinking about the making this. I kind of like to just have MSG go to first page, etc. But let's just have this like this. Go decrement page index. Then we have here, it doesn't do anything on click. How to call it? I forgot the word. Let's call it indicator. And let's just go here quickly. Okay, and now all that is left to do is to bind the indicator to the current page. Um, where is it? Bind that fragment model. Okay, so do it like this. Weird way. And basically I have to actually do it multi-line maybe? Maybe not. Um, Bind that fragment model, sorted map. Okay, let's do that. Helper here. Let current page and end of current page. Yeah, I like this. I would like to do this as an implementation on the model, because why not? There, model. Oh yeah, I have started map, get current page. Then we pass in the function. Let's call it p text. Let's set it to just the p here. Then we need this. Let's maybe just break it down to 2 lines. Just like this. And let's actually see how it looks, because we didn't do that for a while now. Okay, it didn't update. It seems like it doesn't compile. Why is this in red? Model is less accessible than the file member of the file get current. Oh, okay. Add private. Did it compile? No. Nope. This expression was expected to have type in, but here has type unit. Where? 821 catalog. Oh. Pagination view and view needs say 5. Okay, now it's filed. It didn't change anything. Still looks like it did. Why? Oh, here it is. Let's go. Tool. Last one. First one. And it goes, of course, over because we don't have that validation. But yeah, we have basically the counter app, but done here. Now we are like 40 minutes in, or 30, and there is some things I want to think about. Like I want to really just check F#'s capabilities in terms of these, smart types I was talking about, because I really like them and I want to experiment with them. Yeah, maybe we can do the store first. Yeah, actually no, let's do that later. So for now we have basically a counter app inside our pagination, and later we are going to do the validation. so the state doesn't go out of place. Um, yeah, because there's many things about the smart types, because on one hand you have the update functions, and the update functions are the only place where the state is modified. So, well, not modified, of course, but you know what I mean. So basically having the validation there should be enough. But is it? Is it? Yeah.